it out just a little bit. Ooh, man, that goes down real fast. It is definitely nice and smooth. And if you go over it, you can really get some nice coverage. So that's, I mean, wow. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, where I go around the world and the internet looking for art supplies to make your life just a little bit easier, or for you to enjoy the craft just this much more. Now, once again, I have found myself going to Five Below and seeing that they have a plethora of new art supplies, so we will be getting through that over the next coming weeks. But one of my biggest Is It Worth It has been gel sticks from King Art, and I noticed that Five Below not only has their own version of gel sticks, but also Tempera paint sticks. So we're gonna try these first because they're a little bit different. The gel sticks are interesting and we will have a video on that, but since I haven't really seen Tempera paint sticks, I figured we should try those first and see what that's all about. And as you know, the repackaging and the new supplies that Five Below has been bringing in has been pretty good. So I'm always excited when they bring new products in, because at that price, if you can get some good quality, then you might as well go ahead and pick it up. But as always, there's only one way to find out if they are actually worth it. So come on, let's go check them out. All right, so as you can see, Five Below has gone super strong on their rebranding of all their art supplies, which I think is absolutely fantastic because it just keeps everything consistent, nice, and I mean, it looks good. So I like the little peekaboo window here, so you actually get to see your colors. It's kind of interesting. It's a nice little design they have here. There's not a lot of information on what it is, so I'm hoping it's pretty straightforward. Tempera paint sticks, here are your 12 colors, and done. Like that is it. So nice chipboard, but you know, it's definitely a basic kind of box with not a lot of information on it. All right, so right off the bat, these look like elementary school glue sticks. So that's kind of fun, and oh wow. So they feel like elementary glue sticks, right? With the plastic, there's zero packaging or information or anything on here. It is plastic. It is very small, right? Like, as you can see, now I know that my hands are a little bit big, but this is really small. And I don't think there's an extender, right? So that you can actually get a little bit longer. So you have to be aware that this is a very small surface for the actual stick. But if you've ever held a glue stick, like an Elmer's glue stick, this is what it feels like. It's plastic, and it's tiny, but let's see. All right, so it's not a twist top. It's got a thing to snap it in there, and it is that snap. I mean, you saw how hard it was to get off, so you know that at least that's nice and secure. So that's good. It does have, if I'm not mistaken, yep, it is a twist, right? So you do have a twist top. I'm willing to hopefully not ruin it by sending it all the way out. But it seems like there's a decent amount, so there's about that much paint in here. Hopefully, yep, and it's retractable, so that's good. So it seems like you have a decent amount of paint in here. It is a thick, right? It's a nice thick, I don't know. It's nice and thick, right? So it has a lot of paint that you get to use. It looks very soft. So I'm assuming it's going to go down on the paper really nice. And you can see that a good portion of this container is filled with the Tempera paint. So, right, so you have about that much. So it's the majority of the actual container is filled with the product of the tempera paint. So that's nice. The mechanism to rotate it is nice. It's really easy to go back, up and down. And it doesn't tear up if you make it go too far out and you need to bring it back down. It's not tearing up the paint. It's seamless. It's a very nice system. So that's really nice. And the snap is great, right? It's very tight, so that's good. It does not post, so that's sad. All right, so you have to put that on the side, but once you're done, it's got a very strong snap. So, all right, so we're gonna test these out with our trusty Strathmore Bristol Board 300 series. And let's see, since we're messing around with the red one, we might as well start with the red. Put it out just a little bit. Ooh, man, that goes down real fast. It is definitely nice and smooth. And if you go over it, you can really get some nice coverage. So that's, wow. It goes down. This tempera paint, it's just a nice cover. And even though I would say for a soft art utensil to actually come down and put this much to go over it that much, it's barely touched the surface of like getting rid of the paint. So when you use it, it feels and looks soft and it goes down very soft, but the actual material doesn't disappear on you really fast. So that's real nice, right? And you can just come back and go over it and you get a nice, it's just nice and covers. Now it feels waxy, so I'm gonna see if you can actually spread it. You can blend it a little bit, right? It's not really there. So, and once it's like this stuff up here is just dry, right? So if you leave it there, if you put it down and then you go right over it, you might be able to smear it just a little bit, right? You can get that nice little smear there, but it's not necessarily a lot. But if you let it sit, it's there. Like it's set. Okay. So let's see. Let's try a different color. Try this yellow. Let's see. Yeah, they just go down super smooth. Wow, look at how vibrant that is. Wow. Now the yellow, if you can really see that, put it up against the red. Now the yellow actually apparently is a lot softer. So there it is. You can see how that edge, so that little bit really put a dent into the edge. But when you look at the red, you look at them side by side, you see? Like with the yellow, it's really got an edge. Like it reacted like a soft material, but the red did not. So that'll be something to keep in mind. It's possible that the lighter colors are a lot softer and therefore, right, they go away a lot faster. But wow, the way that goes down is just insane. Now I'm really interested, because they seem to blend really well. I'm really interested in seeing how they're gonna blend together. Go to this orange. They cover the paper really nicely. This one also, so the orange is also very soft and reacts like a soft material. So now if you put down enough, right, it'll start building up. So if you go over it a couple times, it'll start building up, and that's where you can really start pushing it around to try and get a nice even coat over your paper. But it's not a lot, right? So you got to keep that in mind. You can smear it just a little bit, but not a lot. So let's try something a little bit darker, like this green. See how that. Now I have to say that a lot of the colors, right, they're a lot dark, they're a lot lighter than the actual container. So something to keep in mind. But I mean, it's not that bad. But let's see. It's also a bit softer, so it's not reacting the same as the red. For some reason, the red held its form a little bit better. But you can, like I said, you can smear it a little bit. Not much at all, but it does smear. But I mean, these are just, you know what? It actually, if you've ever used a glue stick, I'm gonna come back to the glue stick. If you ever used a glue stick, it really performs just like that. Like when you put it down, and if you put a lot down, it creates a little bit of excess, right? And then if you needed to, you can come smear that out. So that's really what it feels like. It feels like a glue stick, but it goes down like a very, very soft paint stick, right? Very, very nice. And you can just, and I think you really need to let it dry, right? Let it kind of seep into the paper, and then you can go over it again and really, really like cover the space you're trying to work with. But I'm gonna show you just how, like, look at that, right? Like it's very soft, and then you can just, it's got a nice coverage once you go over it, right? So you can really, really see how that looks. But I mean, I've been doing a lot of marks, and it's not necessarily tearing it up. Like it does have an edge here, right? Let's see, right? Like maybe not, but it does have an edge here. But I mean, I've used other materials that once you put it on paper, it was like done. So I think that these will give you a lot more time to use. And if you're doing something, oh wow, that black really just completely, that's complete coverage right there. I think that's great. Like these are really nice as far as considering that it's paint, right? It comes down, it's opaque paint. Wonder if you can see the white on white paper. You cannot, but I'm gonna go up to this orange. Right, so you can add it to another color to lighten it up just a little bit. Right? So that's kind of cool. And it does, like if you wanted to, it could just stay right on top. Just like that. Right, so the white will go right on top of it. So that's really nice. And then of course you can, it is paint, so if you're putting the white over top of something, as you can see here, it will pull up, it will accept the other color, right? Just like with the orange, I have it on orange, it will, like, you are going to be taking that color with it, right? Just like if we go over the white, the black. But see, you can just, I think that, right? So you can easily just come in, let me try and get rid of that real quick. But you can easily come in, right, and put in some nice details over the paint that you've put down, right? So these are really fun. And if you're doing like a painting and you're trying to get some nice like gestural marks and stuff like that, these would be great. So I'm gonna try something real quick. Put a little bit of yellow down. A little bit of orange. And a little bit of red. Wow, they just blend instantly. That's really cool. All right, I mean, you can come in and work it, but it goes from yellow to a lighter orange to the darker orange to a red orange to red. Like, that's really cool. And then you can come in while it's still kind of like, you know, it's still kind of wet. It's not wet, but it hasn't dried yet, right? So I guess wet. But you can come in and just like really blend those together, so you can get, I wonder what happened if I go over it. Yeah, see? So if you go over it, put that other color in there and just kind of go over it. Now you can blend these together. Right, and we'll come back with an orange, so we know that that's orange here, there. All right, then we'll do the red, and that'll overlap here, and then we'll just bring that all the way out. Right, so you can really get some nice blends in there, right, to move those together. But to be absolutely 100% honest, I got paint. Oh no! Putting paint on my table now because the excess is falling out. That's my fault. But I think the thing to really take away from this is that they go down nice, real easy, right? It's just, and then they go on top of each other. Oh, look at that. And they blend instantly. Look at that. I don't know. Yeah, see? So the blue over the yellow made green like right away. So, I mean, these are really fun to play with. They're very soft. You can use it on canvas, paper, right? Anytime you're trying to do a paint, because it is paint, right? And then you can just draw if you need to, fill stuff in really fast, right? You can make it kind of fade out, right? And they blend really nicely together. So especially, like I said, once you go over it, like that's really cool. Like as soon as you go over the color, it changes, right? So it interacts with the paint underneath it. So you can do some really nice color changes and stuff like that. Like these are really fun. These are really fun. All right, so we just got done reviewing Five Below's Tempera paint sticks. And you know what? I'm not necessarily, just like with the gel sticks, like I'm not a painter by any means, but these were really fun. They go down really nice, and I can so see this working with people doing like graffiti or graffiti art, you know, and they're trying to do it on canvas, or they're just doing canvas with expressive lines and stuff like that. It goes down so easy, so fast. Like you could cover a page really, really, really fast, and then you could paint right over it. You could use the gel sticks to actually do interesting art on top of it because they layer on top of each other. They will blend with each other. And these were really nice. Anything that you would do with like paint, so if there was like paint thinner, you could thin them out and stuff like that. But these were really, really fun, easy to use. And like I said, it brought me back to when I was using glue sticks, because that was the size, that was the feel, but now I was able to paint with them. I was able to make art with them with just the stick. And so it was really fun. It was a really nice experience. If you like paint and you like these paint stick kind of things where you can smear it a little bit, you can rub them together and it feels like paint, but it's a little bit more controlled because it's like it's inside of a pencil, or it's inside of a stick in this case. But this is something you should definitely check out. And for Five Below, for $5 or less, depending on which one you go to, these are definitely worth it. You should pick them up. And even if you're trying to be like, hey, we should try something different, let's try something new, it's easy to use because it flows so easily. It goes down. There'd be no frustration if you're trying to introduce these to new artists or young artists and you're just like, hey, why don't you try this out? These would be good. You get instant results. They're very vibrant. They cover the paper. These are absolutely something that I would recommend you getting because they were lots and lots of fun. Well, that wraps up today's episode of Is It Worth It? I hope that the information was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. If you have some type of material that you would like me to review, please go ahead and drop it in the comments below and I will add it to the list. Now, if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified every single time that I drop new content. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you at the next episode.